Hi, this screencast will demonstrate RubyStar4Teachers.org. This site is an online rubric maker that is free to use and that allows you to create and find rubrics depending on your classroom needs. The first thing we're going to do, you see the login page here. If you're not already logged in, you can click on register, and again, it's entirely free. So just fill in the form giving your name, zip code, and create a password. Also enter your email address. Once you are registered, you're ready to log in. So I'm just going to go back to home. And to log in, you'll just need to enter your first initial, your last name, your zip code, and your password. Now once you log in, you have an option to create a new rubric or find a rubric that's already been created. First thing I'm going to do is take you through how to create a rubric. So we'll click on Create Rubric, and you'll see it gives you a list of topics. There are templates already created for oral projects, products, multimedia projects, science, math, art, music, etc. So you can choose the subject that works for you. Just for demonstration, I'm going to choose graphing under the map. Okay, it gives you a little warning that tells you have about 40 minutes to create your rubric, otherwise it won't be saved, so make sure you adhere to that. You'll have to give your rubric a name. So it's a graphing rubric, but I'm going to also call it Intermediate Algebra for my course. And the next thing I want to do is check off whether it's temporary or permanent. And if I would like to keep this, I'll click permanent. This way it's saved on my page. And as we scroll down, this is where we start to create. Now, you're already given a rating scale. This is on a point basis from 1 through 4. If you want to change that and use letter grades instead, you can do A, B, C, or you can use words such as satisfactory, unsatisfactory, but I'm going to keep the number rating system. So once we have that in place, over on the left you have different categories. Now each category is specific to the type of the subject that I chose. So because this is a graphing rubric, the first thing I'm going to put is that they have the right type of graph chosen. So I'll select that, and you'll see that it fills in the information already for me. So the highest level will be, the description will fit that, and the lowest level, the description will fit that as well. Now if I want to modify this a little bit, I could. So if I wanted to maybe change the wording of the first level, I could just go ahead and click, and I could type in makes it very easy, or you could be more specific with what you want to do. After I'm satisfied with these categories, I could just go through and create additional categories. So in addition to the type of graph, I maybe want to make sure they have the data table. I might also want there to be a title, and I'll put in neatness and attractiveness. Okay, once we have that, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and press submit, and your rubric will be created. Okay, and it gives you a warning. It says your rubric is not yet saved. So they'll just give you an overview of your rubric, and you can just double check and make sure everything is the way you want it. Once you have that, you have the option to either print or download it. So you can choose that, or you can make it available online. Now if you make it available online, you can edit it, but also other people will be able to go on and view it. I'm actually going to pick that option. And this way it tells me that my rubric has been saved, and I can now make another rubric or go to my home page. So I will go to my home page, and you see there that it shows me the rubrics that I have created so far. So I have 2 rubrics so far, and I have options to view them, so I could print them. If I needed to edit them, I could do that. If I wanted to analyze the rubric, I could do that. This would be after you implement the project. So I'll show you what that looks like. I have one here. So this is a rubric that has already been used. And what you do is you enter in how many students fall within each rating category for each topic. So I had 2 students get a 4 for mathematical concepts, 5 students get a 3, and so on. And what it does is it analyzes your results and highlights ways that you could maybe make some improvement, maybe with your lesson plan or with the rubric. So once we have that, if we want to edit, we can click down here to edit, or we can just go back to the teacher home to view my other rubrics. Now if you don't want to create a rubric, you can look for a rubric that's already been created from someone else. So you would click above on Find Rubric, and you would go ahead and type in keywords. So if you wanted to do a social studies essay, you probably would want to be more specific, but we'll just click there. You have some options here to search in the title, in the author's name if you happen to know the person, or their email address, and you could choose an and search or an or search. So I'm just going to click search. And it gives me 1,606 results that I would have to sort through. So you probably want to make your search terms a little more specific, but you can go through by page or just scroll down and click on one. So we'll click on this one. Now this is just a 20-point essay. The thing about this is that you cannot modify it. Actually, the only option you have would be to print it. So you can click there to print the page and just use it as is. If you needed to modify it, you would have to actually go in and make your own rubric. Okay, so we're going to go back to Teacher Home. And really the only other thing that there is to show is where you can edit your profile. If you need to change your email address or anything like that, you can edit that in here. If you want to change your password, that can be done here. And you'll see a lot of times, I'll go back to the Teacher Home, there are ways to make your rubric interactive. So if I just choose a rubric, it'll give me a little note about how to make it interactive. This you would have to sign up as a entire school or an organization to be able to subscribe to this, but there's a way to make your rubrics interactive using this waypoint, or you can also use Blackboard or Moodle. It describes it in here, so if that were something that you'd want to do, you could do that. And then finally, since we're done, just make sure to log out. And that concludes our screencast about RubyStar.forteachers.org.